Hello, everybody. Welcome back to NDIS. I'm your host, David Trinka, alongside my co-host, as always, Lincoln Retzloff, and joined once again by Ian Iverson. And in today's pod, we will recap the most recent series between UND and the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers that happened over the last weekend. And then we'll do a little preview of the upcoming trip to Clarkson that UND will be doing as their continued non-conference schedule moves forward. So. Well, let's just get in. Yeah, I mean, this is on here. We haven't done it since we started this new season, but someone put it in here, so we're just gonna roll with it because I think it's a good idea. Why don't we do some weekend recaps? Who wants to start?
I'll go first. I think I did the same thing as you guys. I just went to the hockey game and drank beer. So, no, it was pretty good. Obviously, caught some of the UND football game, which got moved up to 12 on Saturday. Was pretty pleased with how they played there.
Yeah,
And
they had
then,
a
yeah,
good
I
game.
just paid attention to some of the other hockey scores. It was just a lot of hockey this weekend for me.
Yeah, a lot of sports. Ian?
Same thing here. Yeah, got to go with my dad to the games. It was fun. Friday night was good. Saturday night was a little worse, but we made up for
Mm-hmm.
it. Got to go downtown with all the buddies, and it's a good time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, pretty much same as you guys. Uh, went with my mom to the game on Friday. I don't think she's been to a home game against Minnesota in a long time, so. Um, Got to take her to it, and then I brought my brother to the game on Saturday. He had a lot of we had as much fun as we could, I guess, with the outcome of the game. So I actually found out that I didn't know this. I remember being at a UND Gopher game a long time ago in the Mariucci Arena. I just didn't know which one. And it's definitely my first UND Sioux game, but it was the game that Evan Trupp hit that puck out of midair in
That's
overtime.
sick.
Yeah, I was at that game, I guess. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, and then Friday went downtown. I don't remember how long we were downtown for. Lincoln, do you remember? I honestly don't remember. I'm trying to
No, I
figure it
don't.
out. Not that I blacked out or anything, I just don't remember. I probably went home decently early then. And then oh yeah, I Ubered myself home. And then Saturday went home pretty early. Me and the bro just wanted to just chill out the rest of the evening. I'm not gonna lie, the loss kind of killed the vibes for me. I do not like losing on. I found out that I do not like losing on Saturday nights. That's for damn sure. You're just walking out with your hanging your head. Not a good, not a good way to start the Saturday evening. So, yeah. Uh, let's get into the recap of the series. I'll just do a little quick overview of what happened for those who don't know. UND hosted Minnesota this weekend. Friday and Saturday. North Dakota took home the victory on Friday night, 5-2. After the Gophers came out with a 2-1 lead in the first period, UND was able to tie it up with EJ Emery's first goal of the year and the first goal of his career as a sophomore. Um, and then they struck home three more in the third period. UND didn't score in the second period at all this weekend. And then on uh, Friday or on Saturday night, the game started to look more the same as Friday night, where Gophers came out and scored first, and then UND responded not too long after to tie it up. And then the game kind of just slowed down from there until the third period when um, a puck trickled across the line through Gibson Homer for the Gophers lead a couple minutes in, just a minute and 13 into the third period, and then UND tried. They had some time to try and get back in it and tie it, and they just didn't respond. And then it just kind of avalanched and snowballed to a 5-1 Gophers win. What did you guys think of the weekend?
I thought for Friday night, the energy was in the building. It was a good vibe. It never really, even when UND was down on Friday, I didn't really worry in
Yeah,
the
me
sense
neither.
of I felt the team's confidence was good. They were playing good. I don't think the Gophers physically had matched up to us that well Friday.
I
And even
agree.
though we were getting chances on the power play and weren't necessarily converting on all of them, we were using that momentum. So Friday winning was kind of no, I wasn't really shocked about that. Saturday, you could kind of feel, you know, going into the third down 2-1. Obviously, you want to come back and, you know, but the energy, I don't think the energy was as good Saturday, at least going into the third. And guys, we had just guys taking dumb penalties. Like we'll get into that, I'm sure, but it just,
It
I don't know.
seemed
And
kind of chill, like too
it was,
chill.
it was a little, yeah, it was just like I said, I think I said it last week. If Minnesota were to potentially win a game, they might throttle us because we would not be able to put up. We just get, shut out and our offense would come to a halt, which is going to happen once again with this young team. But I don't
Hmm.
know. I mean, it was a good weekend of hockey. I think we learned about a lot about our team, and Minnesota was definitely the more desperate team on Saturday. They didn't want to start the
Yeah,
season
they
one
had
and
their backs
four,
against the
so
wall,
that
so
was kind of I wouldn't
yeah.
I to say that UND losing one this weekend was wouldn't have shocked me as much. To say we would have lost on Saturday, kind of like you said, alluded to, Dave, is a little more surprising. But yeah, it's kind of just my
Hmm.
initial impressions.
Ian, did you want to add anything to that real quick?
Yeah, I mean, two things I noticed. We're a young team. We're bound to lose at some point. We're not going to go the season, 40-0 and go win the title.
Hmm.
Um, I thought Minnesota actually looked really, really good on Saturday night. They
Mm-hmm.
kind of showed that with the right combination of desperation and talent, they can be a dangerous team. I mean, their neutral zone was very, very good Saturday night. They
Yep.
obviously looked power play moving the puck really well. I know they had that goal that was very reminiscent of our tic-tac-toe goal against Miami, 2016. I just think there, two things. We got to shoot the puck. Uh, so many power plays we spent on Saturday night just passing the puck around. We got maybe one shot on goal in each power play. So guys like Zellers, they just got to be more willing to pull the trigger. I guess the other thing is we did not do a very good job Saturday and even Friday too of stopping those cross ice breakout passes on line changes. There were a lot of times where Minnesota was able to get their guys right up
Hmm.
to the blue line, as we're changing, and that actually costed us, I would say, two or three goals in the weekend. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
just little things that we'll clean up. But we're a fourth game team. We shouldn't expect this team to be, top three in the nation right away. They're young and they're still learning. And I think losing that game was important because it shows that, hey, if we're going to lose to anybody, we can at least split with the Gophers and move on to other non-conference play. So
Yeah, like honestly, a lot of people worry about being number one right away. I I wouldn't worry about being number one. All number one brings with it is no place, nowhere to go. Like there's no going up for number one. And all it does is put a target on your back, in my opinion. You don't need to be number one until March. You really don't. Um, but yeah, I mean, seemed like UND's scoring kind of dried up on Saturday. I we talked the last couple weeks about how good the fourth line has been, and I don't think that they even registered a single point this weekend. So, yeah, you hate to see it. There might have been one. I don't remember. We talked about it last night, Lincoln. I can't remember. I don't think there was a single point. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, how important it was, and why that the team was so successful with that fourth line really rolling, and it just scoring kind of dried up. The power play went one for 11 on the whole weekend. If you want to be successful, you got to be producing on the power play at least two more times, over that. You'd like to see be three out of 11 at least. Um, you can't. You just that's a terrible rate. That's like 8%. That's terrible. That's a terrible power play right there. Yeah, I don't know. And then I mean it helped that the Gophers also they went 1 for 9 on the power play. Obviously that helps, but just seemed like scoring kind of dried up on Saturday and things just weren't right. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anything about the
Yeah,
special teams?
I on the special teams, Mark. I think I said it last week too. We got kind of lucky. The Gophers didn't score more on the power play. And you've seen a lot of Gopher fans were bitching about, oh, the refs were calling everything, and like, yeah, all right, UND wasn't scoring on the power play. I know you're not out on the ice, which definitely plays a role, which is a problem we saw Saturday. But like I don't know, man. I mean, it was a special teams battle, and we lost that battle Saturday. And like you said, the Gophers really didn't even score that much on the power play, if at all, besides a little afterwards. And they still managed to beat us. Like if we play a team that has a really strong power play, they're gonna net goals on us like it's a joke. So that's like I said, like this hockey team needs to stay out of the box. Like we can't have our upperclassmen taking 3 penalties in a game.
Hmm.
Like what are we doing there? Or putting ourselves like that's just you're not doing hockey games doing that. I know Dane Jackson's saying the same thing to his guys right now, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But again, like you have to win to beat good teams, you need to win the special teams battle. And Saturday night, we really didn't do that. And honestly, we really didn't win it that much this weekend in general. We just kind of got lucky Friday with getting having more power plays and whatnot, and then Minnesota the next night. So yeah, that's just kind of my take on that.
I'm gonna do something really quick. Sorry to cut you off, Ian. You'll be able to contribute. This is still on topic, but I'm gonna move the vent line up. I don't want to do it last just because people are venting about something we're talking about right now. Um, we got some responses on our Instagram story, so thank you for that if you contributed to that. Um, for future, if you don't want me to shout you out, just next time that you put something in the vent line to say, I don't want my name dropped. So, but I'm gonna name drop anyway. So Cooper asked, "How do we let in 4 goals in one period?" So UND let in obviously 4 goals in the third period. And honestly, when I alluded or talked a little bit about how it kind of ruined the whole feel of the weekend for me, it ruined Saturday night. I mean, we could have had a sweep if we just closed out in 20 minutes. You know, it's crazy that 20 minutes of the hockey game can just ruin the feel of the whole weekend. Like, even at work on Monday, I just usually you're kind of feeling good that UND played well, but I just left a really sour taste in my mouth that, we had lost, and to lose 5-1, uh, giving up 4 goals in the third period is not how you want to lose for sure. What do you guys have to say about that?
Go ahead, Ian.
I guess I'm not as worried about it as other people. I would say both nights are closer than the score showed.
Yeah.
That
Hmm.
5-1 really isn't that accurate. I only really see it as kind of a 3-1 game. You have that one that just trickles in barely. And then you have the empty netter at the end. So I mean, it was closer than people were thinking. I mean, even then we let in 4 goals in the third, but that was kind of the only really bad period we played all weekend. And,
Hmm.
based on how we played in years past, I'd say that's actually pretty good.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, for the most part, we controlled the weekend. I mean, we still outshot them both nights, and we definitely played still more physical. So I'm not super worried about it. Like we said, it's a fluke. You're going to get flukes like that, especially with a team with 15 out of 27 new players and a very young squad. So I'm not super concerned with it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, like we said before, the Gophers, they're not a bad team, and when you have your back up against the wall like that, being what were they, 1-4
One and
after
three.
Friday night's loss?
1-3
One
and one.
four and okay, 1-3-1. That, I mean, you got to get a win, and I'm sure Bob Moscow chewed their asses out on that on that Friday night. All right, next up we got from Ian Iverson. Refs controlled the weekend. Tough to see for the Gopher series. Who wants to respond to
Yeah,
Ian? Ian,
man,
what you
that
got?
was so frustrating. It was just, it felt like it was draining the energy out of the Ralph when somebody's taking a penalty every 3 minutes. And like, I get Friday night, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I swear, like, we had 6 of our sticks chopped in half in the first period.
Hmm.
I
It
didn't
felt
catch
like
that.
every shift, like Will Zeller's stick
Yep.
probably got snapped 3 times on the weekend.
Yeah.
And so for all the Gopher fans complaining about that, it's like, well, you broke 6 of our sticks in half. The refs come and tell you about it, then you keep doing it. So, I feel like this is a weekend where you should maybe be giving out 2 or 3 penalties a night. Part of that I blame just on us being sloppy, but I also thought it was frustrating seeing how many soft calls were called against both teams. This is it's a weekend where you're supposed to be physical. It's supposed to be kind of a prelude of playoffs in terms of intensity and physicality. So it was just disappointing to see, and you could definitely feel that in the energy in the Ralph on a Saturday night. Every time we got momentum, we'd take a stupid penalty. So
Hmm.
No, yeah, the stick infractions are gonna kill us, and I mean every officiating crew calls it differently, and I don't know. Yeah, it was just it sucked because we had to deal with it, or the Gopher fans dealt with it worse, I'd say Friday, and then we Saturday was us. And honestly, I don't blame the refs for calling some of those penalties, but kind of like you said, Ian, maybe just put the whistles away, let the boys play to a certain degree. I'm glad
Hmm.
they didn't call that 5 on Strinden for hitting Mooney in the head just because he's short. So like
Yeah.
that would have really been the kick in the nuts there. But no, yeah, I would agree. Like you don't
Yeah.
the Minnesota versus UND, if there's going to be a lot of penalties, I want them to be like roughing majors and fight. I don't want it to be stick infractions like that,
Right.
like those momentum, even for both teams, and it just makes the game more boring. So, I mean, yeah,
Right.
I do agree with that take.
Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of go down the line here. I kind of want to get everyone's take in here because normally on a vent line you just have callers come in and then they just say their vent. And the people don't necessarily respond to it, but just to give yourself a chance to say what you want to say. Uh, Someone said Josie Johnson Josie said split the series exclamation point go Sue. Go Sue. Um, Douglas Stowe said Saturday was a needed reminder for the team that college hockey is tough no matter what.
yep,
Hmm.
that's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great. I mean, you got to remember it's like you said, it's a 1-3-1 team with their backs against the wall against North Dakota. You get swept, you know, you're kind of in a way, unless you win pretty much every game the rest of the year, you're done. Uh,
Hmm.
right.
so you know,
That was great, Ian. Great reflexes. That's exactly what I wanted you guys to do is to jump in if you want have something to say. If you don't, then I'll skip over it. Douglas Stowe also said 2 out of 2 honeymoon phase is over. I mean, yeah, the year's only going to get harder,
Yeah.
except for when you're playing Clarkson. Um, Definitely some growing pains, but you gotta roll with it. Uh, Ethan Robertson said PPs were horrible to watch. Can't disagree with you there.
yeah,
Not
nobody wanted to
great.
shoot the puck. Like especially Saturday night. I don't know if it was just me, but it's like you have a clean shot and you're trying to be fancy and set up the perfect play, and that was a reminder of like simplicity is what can carry you much further than
Mm,
trying to make a fancy play. So
yeah. Peyton Gravett. Sorry if, by the way, if I'm mispronouncing any of these names. In both games, need less odd man rushes, smarter shots, more physicality. Solid
Yeah.
take.
I think you kind of brought it up earlier, Ian, but they were stretching the puck on changes and whatnot. And there were a few times even like Livanovich got just beat off the wall too. I think Homer clutched up both times. Actually, we might have gotten scored on once. But it was like, first of all, we're letting Minnesota stretch the puck, and we know that's coming, whatever. Second of all, our best D man can't be getting, and it's gonna happen. Don't get me wrong. It happens to everyone. You're gonna be a pylon sometimes, but like it happened. I felt more than one times this weekend where we had just Minnesota players were just easily kind of getting around our defensemen, which I just don't. I don't know. So that was just something
Yeah,
that
I did
stuck.
notice that too, honestly. They were getting around, moving the puck around, and yeah, I
you
did see that
you
too.
shouldn't get easy 2-on-1 goal shorthanded when our guys are going for a line change. You know, you can't let them
Oh,
stretch the puck like that.
one thing, they gotta we gotta clear up sticks in front of the net, clear up passing lanes because there's way too many tip in like
Hmm.
give and go or tip in front of the net goals. I mean, there were some nice ones like that second goal by I think it was Ludke on the first night. That was a
Yeah.
damn nice tip. That was right in front of me, so I got a really good angle on that thing. That is not an easy tip to make. And then I think there was maybe one or two. There was probably two on Saturday that were tips right in front of the net, redirections right in front of the net. You got to clean the traffic up in front of Gibson. You can't expect for him to. to stretch his leg out and make a save on a redirection like that. I mean, obviously he can try and cheat over, but at that point you're kind of leaving your other side wide open. So,
Well, yeah, on the 2-on-1s, the goalie's going to take the shot, and I would argue
mhm.
some of their 2-on-1s weren't even necessarily 2-on-1s. They would be we would have a guy who was pretty
Yeah,
much a puck carrier, and he could shoot it, but he didn't have much of a shot angle, and
yeah,
you
exactly.
know he's going to pass here, and we just let
Hmm.
too many passes through. I don't,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Minnesota's got some talented passers. Honestly, props to them for getting them through. But there were times where I'm like, man, I saw that pass coming and
Hmm.
like get your stick in there. It's Gibson's not going to be able to save those. Like he's gonna go for the shot every time.
Exactly. And any goaltender is going to at the end of the day, that's what you're taught. So you got to clean up that shit in front of the net. Gibson can make the first save, but you got to clean up the sticks and the passing lanes in front of the net. You got to get guy there. You got to get someone on the guy in front of the net. That's racing there, and you got to pick up sticks. So, I think I already said that one. John Novak said, "We always split, shuffle the lines for Clarkson, and let Gibby get his confidence back." True.
I don't
Anybody
know.
got anything on
I'm
that?
interested to see what Jackson's gonna do.
You
I
were saying that you thought that they were going to shift lines around, didn't you?
I would assume there might be some kind of shift. I just
I
feel
feel like the
like
third
do it
is
earlier
going
in
to
the
get moved
season
a little bit.
because we don't want to be like we were
First
last year where
line is going to
we're
stick
changing
around.
lines in March like that.
Yeah.
So do it now.
First line's going to stay together. I don't know if they'd switch the fourth line up. They had success early,
They haven't
but
switched them at all.
they,
They'll
yeah.
switch up second and third. I think that third line, I mean, they're decently physical, but they don't get a lot done.
The second line hasn't been bad. It's just Kernan is the only one on that line that hasn't had a point. Not that that means he's not contributing to the line, but I mean, he has 1 point through the first 4 games of the year when he looked pretty promising in that Manitoba um, exhibition game. Don't ask me how I know. Maybe it's because I keep picking him to click. He doesn't fucking click. So, I've been keeping my eye on him. Uh, Jackson, I think I already said that one. Power play was god awful. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jackson. Agree. Uh, let's see. What is this? How do you say that? I'm not even gonna bother to read that one. I don't even know. Okay. Last night UND kind of forgot to show up. Yep, kind of. The third period anyway. I mean, the first period was okay, and then I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's so hard for me to watch from my seats. I guess gotta get in the press box again. I can't see shit during the third and first period on offense for us. I'm basically watching the screen from my seats, and I have to watch the fans on the screen to tell if it's going in. I can't even see it on the screen. I can't see anything happening over there. It was kind of ridiculous. And then
I
obviously
saw,
Uni didn't score a single fucking goal on my side the entire weekend. So Ian got to watch everything
yeah, it
and
was
missed a
fun,
single
man.
one. I'm really happy for you. Really. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, the first on Saturday, we were, like we said, kind of okay. We didn't turn it up, I think, to the degree we should have. I think the second we actually looked pretty good for a good stretch there, but we just, didn't capitalize when it mattered. We could have gotten ourselves back into that game and even put ourselves in the lead in the second on Saturday, and we just, you know, didn't.
Hmm. Yeah. And obviously I think the first one I said was Cooper Frey. How do we let in four in one period? Can't do that. We'll just move on though. That was the vent line. So thank you for everyone that put in your responses, and we hope to have more people continue to do that. If you enjoyed that, let's move on to the defining. Who put this in? Is that you, Ian? You want to read that?
Yeah, I put that there. I mean, kind of like I said last week, the Gophers can definitely be a top 10 team when they want to be. And I really think they showed that
Absolutely.
Saturday night. They look like a damn good hockey team. Their neutral zone was amazing. It's what caused us to kind of sit back and go out of our play style we've been succeeding at the past 3 games. And
Hmm.
I only put up one goal. We couldn't, get the puck through while they were just getting those easy cross ice passes and getting downhill quick. We just kind of sagged back and tried to get the fancy play into the ozone. It reminded me of Barry's teams a little bit where we just couldn't get the puck across the blue line. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So defining game for the Gophers. I mean, it definitely could be. They looked pretty good, like you said, Ian, and I don't know. I'm not sure who they play next. Let
Bulldogs.
me.
Duluth,
Oh yeah, they play the Bulldogs. That's right. Are they doing a
That'll
home
be
and
a good
home, or is
one.
it? They're both at Mariucci. Yep, both at
Yeah.
Mariucci. Duluth also looking like a pretty decent team too, so that's going to be a tough one. It's not going to be an easy one for either team, whichever way it goes. And then they go on to play Wisconsin. The next game that they play that's not against that good of a team is Long Island on November 14th and 15th at home. So could be a defining moment for sure. I mean, they look good. Hopefully, if you're a Gopher fan, you sure hope so. I mean, they got to pick it up soon. They can't afford to keep dropping games, and I don't imagine that they will. But we will move on to uh I'll let someone else start with this one, but game plan going into Clarkson.
simplicity. I mean, this is we looked at Clarkson, who their only win is against Penn State, which is pretty hilarious. They've gotten spanked by teams that
It's a pretty
aren't
good
very.
win, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's a pretty good win. I think it's a classic example of what could be a trap weekend if we don't go in there with the proper mindset. Um, I think we just saw that simple is what's worked for us. You don't need to make the fancy play. You don't need to make the extra pass all the time. You can play simple, play downhill, play physical, and it should win you 3 out of 4 games for the whole year. So
Dude.
Or their first home game. Did anyone know that? Or their home opener.
Oh, that's what happened at Cornell last year.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's what I just
Oh,
thought. I was like, Jesus, we're their home
oh.
opener.
I we were kind of talking about this off the air, Dave. I really don't think there's an excuse to get swept by Clarkson. I know, like you said, Ian, it could be a trap game, and it definitely could, knowing the like depth and parity in college hockey this year. But all things considered, this is not the same Clarkson team that they had last year. They lost all their good players, their entire top line.
Hmm.
So I don't on paper UND is a better team than them. And if that this is part of the reason that Brad Berry got fired was because we were losing to teams, regardless at home or on the road, that you shouldn't necessarily lose to. And at the end of the day, if you lose these non-conference games, you're not going to make the tournament or even go to overtime in them. Like that's kind of been the pattern that we've seen, and we're seeing this with the entire NCHC. Like the NCHC needs to win its non-conference games, and that kind of starts with UND doing their part in Clarkson. Like, could Clarkson beat us a game? If they did, once again, I wouldn't be shocked. But I don't think there's any reason they should. They're not as good as they were last year.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Maybe we'll get hot goal. UND will get hot goalied. That's definitely
Yeah.
possible. So we kind of saw that Saturday. I thought Minnesota's Airy didn't play Saturday. I thought Minnesota's
Yeah.
backup for
Is
whatever
it,
his
how do you
name is.
say it? DePascal or something like that?
uh, yeah, you looked good.
You look good. So, I mean, but again, that comes
DePascal?
down to like you were saying, Ian, like we got to be simple. You have to convert on the power play, stay out of the box, play hard, and just if you control the puck in their end, you'll tire them down and you'll just be able to grease goals past them. So that's how you beat teams like Clarkson. That's how they beat teams like us. Like they're those puck possession teams. They're not the fanciest. They just grind you down.
Hmm. Yeah,
Well,
it made me a little. Sorry, go ahead, Ian.
just to add on the home opener, it's also Ellis Rickwood coming back, so there's going to be some
Hmm.
extra fire in their locker room, at least for those nights from the guys that played with them. So
Yeah.
we just got to be careful. I mean, that's what we did so well with St. Thomas is like we just kept the game simple. We
Yep.
stuck to the plan. We stuck to simplicity, physicality, and like that's why we controlled the pace. And even Friday we did that. Saturday we just got too fancy. So um, just play
Hmm.
simple.
Yeah. Looking at, I had a similar reaction to you, Lincoln, when I saw that it's their home opener. It's just making me a little nervous about what happened last year with Cornell. Obviously, Cornell was a good team. I mean, they
We're
didn't
much
finish the
better.
year well. Ian Shane is he even the goalie? He was the goalie last year, still, right?
They
He had been
returned
there for
everyone
so
else
long.
as their leading scorer, Henry and Shane, who's been around, yeah, who had been around forever.
And I mean, I I getting flashbacks right now. I'm seeing ghosts right now. Getting a little nervous now that I think about it, but we'll probably be fine. I can't imagine I don't know. I, we, I didn't think we were gonna go into Clarkson and get swept last year either, but you never know. I don't know. I just, I really hope we don't lose a game. If we lose a game, it's not a good look. I did just realize that one of my childhood good friends that I played hockey with is playing on Clarkson. I forgot about that. Talon Sigurdsson. And then his younger brother is a goalie for Northeastern. He was one of my better friends that I play hockey with. But unrelated, sorry. I mean, kind of related, but unrelated. Not important to you guys, but uh, yeah. So they're going to New York, not New York City, but New York. Play
Potsdam.
Clarkson. What's that?
It's in Potsdam.
Yeah, that's right. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know much about Clarkson. I'm gonna be 100% honest. All I know is that they're 1-3, and I don't know how you fucking beat. I mean, they beat Penn State at Penn State, so
The
I don't
opener.
know what the barn is like there, honestly, for Clarkson. I don't know how much juice they're gonna bring. I mean, Cornell, that wasn't only their home opener, that was their first game of the year, right? Last year,
Yeah,
that was their
that,
first game of the year.
mhm.
So you just gotta hope that UND brings it. You know, they don't take it easy on them. I just gotta hope that Dane Jackson, for the first real road series of the year, will put him in a new good state of mind to kick some ass this weekend, I would say. We'll move into, if anyone doesn't have anything else right now, uh, we can just combine special teams, and if we kind of already talked about it, but if Jackson will switch up the lines, who wants to go? I don't really have anything to, I don't have much to say about that, so you guys can just take care of that if you want.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think you're going to see some different combinations. I don't know how far that's going to go across. I think you're going to see some of the guys probably paired together still. What that's going to look like is I really don't know. Like as it's such a I'm kind of excited to see what Jackson does, and maybe he keeps some of them. Like I said, maybe he keeps them the same. I wouldn't mind though if we got to see maybe throw David Klee in or maybe Tyler Young, see how they do maybe for a game or two, just to get some fresh guys out
I
there. When you're sitting guys, I think it motivates players too to play better. So I don't
I
know.
would, yeah, I would be interested to see Clee. Sorry, continue though.
And then yeah, maybe just some different looks on the power play per se, or like just we need to have our UND needs to have their shooters shooting the puck. So maybe 1, 2 passes and then shot, right? And I think a lot of that does come down to, it is still early in the season, so your power play is not always refined, but just making sure they're hitting the right spots for their one timers and they're having guys take their shots. Because when guys are shooting the puck, it's successful, but when they're not shooting the puck, UND's turning it over and then getting scored on. So yeah, I mean
Right.
that's kind of all I got to say about that.
I'm just kind of looking through their roster right now. It's a lot of freshmen and sophomores, actually a lot of Canadians. They have some big boys too. They got a 6'8" defenseman. They got a 6'5" forward, a few 6'2" defensemen, a pretty decent sized goalies. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how it goes. I think we just need to, like we all said, you don't need 15, 20 passes on the power play before a shot. That grinded my gears when I saw that on Saturday night. So like we said, if you get on your special teams, 1, 2, 3 shot, 1, 2, 3 shot. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to be fancy and find the you know, perfect picture one timer. And especially against these guys, like we said, this is not a team you need to play fancy with. You just go in, get the job done, move on.
Yeah, just throw it at the net. Like there's so many ways for the puck to just to go in if you just throw it at the net, just get the puck to the net. There's a way someone can tip it in. It can bounce off, it can redirect off of, an opposing player. You never know unless, I mean, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Michael Scott. I mean,
Right.
you just
You
throw whatever you can at the net. I mean, it doesn't mean to take stupid hard angle shots that are have like a 1% chance of going in, but you know, just give yourself a chance by making a play by shooting it. Don't be stupid. You can't. you just passing the puck around all the time just obviously doesn't do anything. I mean, you try to get you're not gonna if you spend all your entire power play trying to get the other team out of position to try and get a good shot. It's just you're gonna waste so much time. You're gonna waste so much of your power plays just doing that. And high chances are is the team is gonna have an opportunity to break the puck away if you keep doing that and don't shoot the puck. If you just keep moving
Right.
it around for 40 seconds, chances are they're gonna have a chance to break it out of your hands with every 20 seconds,
Hmm.
if that. So just be smart and shoot the damn puck, dude. Get it
Yeah.
to the net. If you don't even need to shoot it, just drive the net too. Find a way to get the puck to the net and create chances. And, there are people on the team that like can clean up pucks in front of the net. Like Elias Rickwood had a goal right in front of the net. Uh, Zellers he had a goal right in front of the net too, didn't he, against St. Thomas?
Just a really good pass. Yeah.
Dylan
Yeah.
James.
Dylan James, Max Swanson's had a couple wide open nets in front of the net. So just get it there. That's what I would say for the power play. Don't overthink it. Don't try to oversimplify it. Just play the game.
Mhm.
Uh,
Another, I got one
yep,
note to
go
add
ahead.
to that. On
Sure.
the opposite side, Clarkson does not have a power play goal yet this year. So
On how many
it's,
opportunities did you see?
I don't know. I just see they're at 0%. So if UND
Let me
wants
check.
to
Two.
stay out of the box, because Clarkson guarantees they're gonna want to score on the power play. So I mean, yeah, they have not been successful yet, but they are going to be eventually, and that just
Holy
comes back to
shit.
our entire point that you just got to be the better team on special teams and stay out of the box, nothing dumb. So
They've been on the power play. Holy shit. Seven. Oh shit. Kind of dang. Seven, nine. Someone help me keep track here. Nine. Uh, Jeez, 12 penalties in the second Penn State game. Holy crap. They've had well, it doesn't necessarily mean power play time because it could have been coinciding penalties, but
They
they've
are
had like
over
over
14
20.
power play
What?
this year. So they're
how
over
What?
much?
14 on the power play this year.
Over 13?
Over 14, yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of coinciding penalties then in that Penn State series. Holy shit got real. God damn. Yeah, I mean, that is a good little bit to add there, Lincoln. Good pull. We'll do we'll probably add more shit to the pod the next couple weeks as we things come along, but we'll just do a score prediction and then we'll do quick hits. Um Snake draft for the score prediction. Ian, want to start again?
Might as well. Yeah, I mean, Friday I'll just say like 3-0. I'm hoping that we get our crap together. I mean, Abram Weeb's post-game interview kind of gave me a little bit of confidence in the team. He just flat out was like Minnesota played like the better team tonight. They won the game. We have to refine who we are and get prepped for a team who's not going to be as sizable and as good and just get the freaking job done. So I hope it's like a 3-0. It could be like a 3-1 or even a 3-2, but
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm just gonna go 4-2. I don't know. I think they're gonna come out with some juice because it's their home game, maybe a goal or two, but I don't see them putting up more than that. Maybe they're gonna get a power play goal eventually, so I could see them maybe getting one this weekend. But I think 4-2. UND. I think UND will put up at least four.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of their goalies have above a 900 save percentage right now. I'm trying to look at it. Yeah, they don't. They have Rancier, which is a name that I recognize. I don't remember where from, but um he's got a 927 or 727, sorry, geez. And then Shane Soderwall has a 892, so just barely out of the 900. I'm gonna go with 3-1 Friday night W, and then I'll do really close one on Saturday, but a 4-2 win with an empty netter. So a 3-2 game. But oh shit. Ottawa scored. Sorry. Lincoln, you're up,
Uh,
bro.
yeah, I think I'm gonna. I don't even know. I'm gonna go 4-1 Saturday, and then I'm gonna say. I wonder if Jan Spunar is gonna get some action this weekend. Depending on how the Friday night game goes, maybe he gets to play a little bit, which I'd be kind of curious to see. So
I would, yeah, I'd be curious to see that too.
yeah, I'll just go 4-1. I don't know. I'm not the best at predicting.
Oh, Rancier played for Minnesota State for 3 years. That's why we know his name. And he played for Minot. All right, that makes sense. Okay. Ian?
I would say similar. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a runaway game, and I think they showed in the Penn State series they can kind of keep up with decent teams. I mean, even then, the Saturday night game, they had five unanswered in the second and the third, but they jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first period. And so that kind of tells me it actually could be a little bit of a nail biter this weekend, kind of why I'm saying it could be a trap game for us. But I think they get the job done.
What's your score prediction for Saturday?
I would say same thing, 4-1.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be. Oh, shit. Sorry. Game's distracting me a little bit. We need to win bad, and Ottawa just tied the game. So, okay. With that being said, we'll get into quick hits. As of this recording of this video, it is Tuesday, October 21st. What it says? Yep. Uh, Shane Pinto is tied for the league lead in goals still in the NHL with 7. Pretty big. He's been monumental for them. I think he's got 3 goals in the last 3 games. He doesn't have one so far tonight, but there's still time left. Um, Honestly, I don't know who scored that goal. Yeah, no, it wasn't him. So, yeah, he's playing well. Brock Besser's having a good year so far, I believe. Jonathan Toews scored his first goal for Winnipeg last night. He's got, I want to say, a goal and 3 assists through like 5 or 6 games for Winnipeg, which is pretty good for a guy who hasn't played an NHL game in 2 years and
Mhm.
is pretty damn old. I don't know if you call it pretty damn old, but he's getting up there. I mean, he is aged, especially coming off of an injury like him with his uh, autoimmune development shit. You know, he had to retire for a bit, not retire, but step away for a bit, and it's good to see him do well, regardless. Uh, Sanderson doing well. Anybody else? Anyone notice anything else in the NHL? I can't be the only one paying attention.
Yeah, I don't watch a ton of NHL if I'm being
You guys are
honest.
dicking around. What the fuck? Ian? Nothing?
Not a lot. I kind of got out of it when the Blackhawks started sucking. So
You were a Tays
I've
fan
tried to
growing up
keep
too,
up
or
with it.
what?
Huh?
You were a Tays fan growing up too, or what?
Oh yeah, yeah. Tage, Oshie, and all the Sioux alumni were
Yeah. But the
tightly.
Blackhawks because of Tays,
Yeah.
primarily, or no? Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, me too. Man, they're a fun dynasty to watch. But yeah, I mean, I got nothing else right now. Probably missing something somewhere, but we'll get it figured out.
Yeah. Michigan
Uh,
State sweep of Boston.
yeah,
And
that's a big one.
Sacha Boisvert with a
Good for
whopping
them.
1 point so far this year. So that's
He's
always nice.
what?
He's got a whopping 1 goal this year against Long Island. So
Nice.
kind of love to
Yeah,
see that.
it's kind of shocking considering they haven't. I mean, they've played some good teams, but Sasha was pretty good last year here. But I don't
Also
know if it's
playing with
just a
good
different
players
style
too.
or. Hmm?
He's playing with good players too. I'd assume he's
Yeah.
on their power play. Well, I know he's on one of their power play units. There's no way he's not.
Yeah, I can't imagine he wouldn't be. They're paying him money too, so. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many. I think maybe Jade. I didn't check this weekend, but Jaden Perron had 1 point through their first 4 games, when they had put up
Like
over
40
20
goals.
goals. Yeah, like Jaden
Yeah.
Perron is not needed at the University of North Dakota, so I'm kind of happy about that. But yeah, I mean, other stuff in uh Duluth looking good. They got Shagaby and the Plant brothers on the line. They're looking fantastic. Lincoln, we talked about that last night. Um, they're looking really good. Probably the best line in the NCHC right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Yeah,
How
they'll
about
be
the
a team
Denver
to watch down
Pioneers?
the stretch here. Hmm? Oh
So
yeah,
how
the
about
Pioneers
the Denver
kind of
Pioneers
suck.
tying Air Force and then losing to Lindenwood, and yet
Yeah,
they're still ranked seventh.
they'll be interesting to see how that like what happens there with them losing a bunch of people. You wouldn't think that they'd have so much trouble at the beginning, but they have. But we'll have to keep watch on them. We don't play them for a while, do we? We play them in the first half at all?
Yeah, we play
No,
them twice again this year, I think.
we do play them twice.
I
No,
think
we
so.
don't.
We
We
might
don't
only
play
win
them in Denver. We play
I
them
think we
here.
only play them.
We don't
Yeah.
play at Denver at all this year.
until
I
we
know
play
that
them.
because Jack lives in Denver, and I'm not going to that because we don't play Denver this year. So
Right.
we only play them twice. So I think we play them in the second half. So
Western Michigan,
hopefully,
not a watch, I would
yeah,
say.
Western
Play them
Michigan's
until
been
until the
decent.
last.
So I don't think Miami played this weekend, so they're still 4-0. So yeah, I mean, anyone else got anything to add on the quick hits before we wrap this up?
That's just another one. Keep an eye on how Western Michigan plays this weekend. That could be the Penrose tilt at the end of the year. That's when we play them. We play them, I think, like March 3rd. It's the literal last weekend of conference play.
Hmm.
Split would be ideal. I could see it really going any direction. I don't think Western Michigan's really proved themselves yet, and kind of the same thing for Michigan. It's easy to put up 20,000 goals against Robert Morris and and
Hmm. I'll be
so
honest, like I'm not usually impressed with Michigan, but I'm kind of impressed with Michigan so far. I mean, not that they played that good a talent, but I mean, they're winning. Like they beat Providence both nights, pretty not by like it was. None of them were either that close. So I'm. This is the first time I'm kind of nervous about them,
They're
but I don't know.
interesting. Like that is going to be a
Yeah.
good series to watch this
They're-
weekend. A good eye test series, especially being what the third, fourth weekend of the season now. Teams are going to start to find maybe their identity a little more, and we're going to see.
Mhm.
That's going to be a real test for Michigan. I hope Western Michigan sweeps because, like we talked about, non-conference is everything, and that really would help the NCHC when it comes down to it at the end of the year. So if you're an NCHC fan, root for NCHC teams. It helps UND.
Yep. Helps UND and it helps the conference look good and helps the conference make the tournament. So yeah, fellas, another great epi. Thank you to everyone for listening to ND Ice. We'll be back next week. I want to think we want to try and start uploading on Thursdays. We uploaded the last pod on Thursday to try and get it out a day early before the Gopher series. Started recording on Tuesdays, so hopefully we'll be able to get them out on every Thursday from now on for the foreseeable future anyway. But just want to take a second to thank you for listening to the podcast or watching. And thank you for following us on our social media accounts. And if you're not, make sure to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. You can follow all three of us on Instagram or Twitter. I'll put them in the description of this video. So, yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next one.